Bill English has been re-elected unopposed as the leader of the National Party, and he's promising to stay on till 2020 and fight to win the next election. Political reporter Benedict Collins has more.
Bill English emerged from the National Party's first caucus meeting since it learned it wouldn't be in government with his leadership intact.
Well, I can confirm that today the National Party caucus re-elected me as its leader, along with Paula Bennett as deputy leader. I've committed to leading the National Party into opposition. We are the strongest opposition the New Zealand Parliament has seen. We will go into the House with more seats than the Labour New Zealand First coalition government.
Mr English says he wants to remain the leader of the opposition until the next election and says he's up for the scrap.
My performance will be in question, it will be under scrutiny just like everybody else's. That's what happens in opposition. But we do have a quite unique situation here. That is an opposition where 44.5% of New Zealanders voted for it, and we have a government with a much less confident view about New Zealand, who have already tried to lower expectations. Now that's a fight worth getting into.
Mr English described the mood of the National Party caucus as sober but positive.
They're disappointed they're not in government. I outlined the results of the negotiations to them last Thursday. Like I was, they were satisfied that could have been the basis for a strong government. But look, that business has been done.
Before today's caucus, the senior National MP, Stephen Joyce, indicated Bill English had the strong backing of caucus to remain as leader.
It's an unusual result. I mean, it's not often that you lead your party to a 44.5% after 3 terms in government and go into opposition. So I think we should encourage him to stay. I know that's what everybody will be doing, but ultimately it's his call and no doubt he'll say so at some point.
The National MP for Papakura, Judith Collins, also backed Mr English to stay on and says she's not going anywhere either.
Is the Pope Catholic? Of course I'm staying. I've been re-elected in the Papakura electorate with a vastly increased majority from last time. I'm absolutely invigorated. Just being an MP is a wonderful privilege and I'm very happy to be one.
However, while Nationals leaders have accepted the Labour and New Zealand First coalition government as legitimate, the party's new MP for Northland, Matt King, took to Facebook at the weekend to say it amounts to an arrogant grab of unmandated power. Mr King says there is a sense of outrage that natural justice has been denied, with National not being in power, and he claimed the new government has no moral authority. Stephen Joyce says Mr King has already rethought that post, which has been deleted.
It is probably just reflecting some of the frustration of the supporters, but I don't think there's any point arguing with the referee on these things. You know the rules of the game as you go into it, so there's no point getting into that. I'm suggesting some of the things he suggested and others have suggested is going a wee bit too far.
The National Party's senior whip, Jamie Lee Ross, was also re-elected, as were the second and junior whips. From Parliament for Checkpoint, Benedict Collins.